Hello, one and all. This is Rob with another World Cup based video. Let me just quickly come in and say the video hasn't all gone football, right? This is a cover anything that I'm doing in my life, and I just happen to be watching the World Cup, so I just happen to be making videos about that at the moment. Obviously, when the World Cup's finished, there will be no football. If you particularly detest football or just don't watch the World Cup videos, if it's still of no interest to you, but hey, I've explained the reasons why. I'm interested in the World Cup because it's still got its integrity, or it's supposed to, if you remove FIFA from the equation. Anyway, we're here to talk about Saturday the 28th of June's first game of the 8th finals, the first two games in fact. So that was yesterday's games. My predictions did indeed come true. So Brazil-Chile, Brazil did take it. Chile did very, very well, and it was a truly wonderful game. I think it was probably the game of the tournament so far. It was a blink and you'll miss it game at some moments. The possession and control between the two teams, trying to hold the midfield against each other and creating lots of opportunities. I was really impressed with Chile, and I honestly think they deserve to lost in a better way than a penalty shootout. It's just awful for a team that has fought so hard to go out in that way. It's just dreadful. So my feelings are with Chile for going out on a penalty, and you just must remember, you mustn't look at the last guy that hit the post, with his last penalty, because Brazil scored on their fifth and Chile didn't, and that was it. Okay, so you mustn't look at the last guy and put all the pressure on him, and he mustn't sort of like think to himself, I'm the one that did it, because you're not taking proper maths and stats into account. You have to remember that the other people who missed are just as much contributors. Yeah, you see, you've got to look at it in that way. If you reverse it the other way around, then they're the one on the end and you're the one in the middle. If they hadn't missed, then it wouldn't have all been on the last guy's shot. So you have to be a bit more reasonable with the way that you think about these things. It's also very interesting of what would have happened had Brazil gone out. Would there have been some sort of riot? Would the games completely have broken down over in Brazil? I mean, they've had a lot of problems over there, hadn't they? There had a lot of demonstrations, things on the edge of going out of control. Would it have done something terrible to the cup? And of course, if it would have done something terrible, then it would prove that Brazil were not the right people to host this. It would be sort of self-evidencing, wouldn't it? So hopefully we won't have that proven, because we want a nice sporting game. And I think a host has to be gracious even in defeat. That's part of the responsibility of being the host. If they don't have the maturity to do that, there are a lot of other countries that are chomping at the bit to be the host of a World Cup. They would love it. So, it's a big responsibility, and it was handed their way, and it's they've got to step up to the mark. They're going to have to make sure that they live up to the host's obligations towards all of the teams to give them a good time and a good World Cup. The other game, Colombia-Uruguay, I didn't even tune in, as for the aforementioned, Suarez comedic situation. So I don't know what the situation is there. The guy comes across somewhat rodent-like. He has a history of biting. His name's Suarez. Sounds a bit like sewers. Yeah, you make the links if you like, but someone will have to tell the Altdorf officials that Skaven perhaps are not imaginary. So Colombia beat Uruguay 2-0, and as I say, I wasn't interested. I knew it would happen. Colombia are exceptionally strong this year. I'd love to see them keep going. I do kind of hope that they ran a quick urine sample check before the tournament started, and maybe they'll run one after for Colombia. There's stereotypical there, typically stereo as well if you've got the right setup on your PC. So we'll look at today's games with a quick bit of advance vision. Netherlands-Mexico is coming up today on the 29th of June, today being Sunday. Netherlands-Mexico. Mexico don't stand a chance. I would love them to stand a chance, but they just aren't in the same league of quality with the Netherlands team. And I said before that I really see that they are favourites for coming away and getting a win in this World Cup, or at very least getting into the final. I'd like Mexico to win because they're an interesting side for me to imagine playing football, to imagine them having their own leagues and all this sort of thing. How I really like the idea of the rest of the world getting better at football, because I think it would put more emphasis on what's wrong with England, the worse they get. And of course Mexican food, I come back to it again. So I'm not kind of hoping Mexico win, but I will be watching and sort of cheering them on a little bit, just simply because they will be coming in as underdogs on this. Costa Rica, Greece, probably a game I won't tune into again. I think it's very likely to go Costa Rica's way. I'd be quite surprised actually if Greece can knock them out. So nothing really too exciting here to write home about on the 8th finals right now. Maybe we'll see more developments in the quarterfinals, but we'll go through the steps and see how these teams are going, and we'll see how they work out. So hopefully another update tomorrow where we'll look at the potential results and see if I was right, and we'll look at the next day's games. Till then, I'll see you at the next one. Thank you for tuning in.